All right, all right. What's going on, Mojo? How you doing, man?
Great, my friend. Can't complain.
Happy that you're here. You're one of the OG senior students. Got a lot of history of just starting DC and so forth. So I'm happy that you're here, man. Are you ready for this interview?
Let's do it. It's long overdue.
Awesome, bro. Well, let's just start from the beginning because, like I said, there's a long history. I want to start from the beginning of the history. So, kind of share with me where were you before working with digital closers and high ticket sales?
Yeah, so before all this happened, I was working as a personal trainer. This is during COVID times too, right? So I was doing that.
2019. Yeah.
Wait, yeah. No, it was a little bit
Before
into
that,
it.
a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit
Oh, you're talking about before COVID.
before. Okay, let's just start from the top.
Yeah, let's start from the top.
Okay.
During COVID times, like 2020, 21, right? Like
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, let's start from the top.
Okay. What's going on, Mojo? Happy to have you here, man.
My brother Quan, I'm blessed. How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. Appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with me. You know, you're one of the senior OG students of digital closers. So yeah, man, you ready for this interview?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
We'll keep it simple as well, man. I know we got a lot of history together, so let's start from the very beginning of that. So, where were you before digital closers and just high ticket sales in general?
Yeah, so prior to digital closers, high ticket sales, I was fresh out of university, so I got into personal training at a commercial gym, was doing that for a little bit, and then I branched out, was doing my own thing. So I was operating out of a private clinic. I was playing a lot of basketball, so that was my lifestyle. And then, I had an injury, tore my ACL, and then that was a catalyst to transition me into the high ticket space. So we can get into more detail about that, but that's what I was doing. I was just living that personal training life.
Yeah, man. I mean, how did that injury impact your ability to be able to help? Like, because I remember you were doing personal training, like one-on-ones and stuff like that. How did that impact
Yeah.
work?
Oh, big time. It wasn't even just work, it was just my day-to-day life. So I was hobbling on one leg, struggling going up and down the stairs. It was during the winter. So the struggle was absolutely real, man. It was a tough time for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Aside from the injury itself, like, what motivated you to even give high ticket sales like a try? Because I know, of course, it's going to help you with injury. You can do it from home, but what made you
Yeah.
even want to work with us and give it a shot?
Yeah, so I was fortunate to be able to witness you have your journey and your success through the high ticket space, right? So I remember during that time, I was injured, wasn't playing basketball, wasn't personal training, COVID was going on, and remember you invited me to come out to Mexico, and I was planning to just go out for like a week or so, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Let me get a little pad interruption, some nice weather. I was out there, and then you were doing it. You and a couple other guys were in a high ticket space, and you guys were just crushing it. So I sparked my curiosity as to like what this all about. Like you told me about it, but actually seeing it firsthand and you showed me the ropes, I decided to take it very seriously, and that's where things ultimately changed.
Yeah, man, you came out for a week and stayed for 3 months.
Yeah, man, successfully ducked the winter. So, man, looking back, that was awesome, man. That was a dope time for sure. And full circle moment right now as we speak. I'm in Mexico right now, so
Crazy, crazy, right?
it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's honestly
Wow.
4 years.
Because I remember when you tore your ACL there, I was like, dude, just fly out here. I'll show you what I do. I'll teach you. Just train along, listen to me, right? We'll role play together and so forth. And literally, I remember because you're one of like the fastest people to get hired. Like within 30 days, you got a position right away as not a closer right away, but more the entry level appointment setter, and you were getting paid like what, like 4K salary every month right off the bat.
Mhm.
How did that feel when you got hired right away in 30 days while you're in Mexico?
Buddy, it was a dream. It was honestly blessed. Just the process of just going through the materials, the role playing, just it was as if you're studying for an exam, right? So I was taking it very seriously. Was doing outreach, applying for positions. Of course, I didn't get the first job right away, but I remember I did like a video introduction thing, and I put it out. There's a job board posting, and it was cool because it's not just about the role I got, but just it was the start of being connected with like-minded people, and just looking back to that time, like connected with many different people in the space, the industry, and it's just been an incredible ride. But no, it's honestly a blessing just being able to live on my own terms, not have to worry about money. Was We were just doing crazy stuff. Remember, we were doing cliff jumps and eating
Yeah.
some good Mexican food, and man, it was unreal, man. And then of course that allowed me to build up my skill set, my experience, my confidence to go from setting to closing. But man,
And we'll talk about that too, because your journey to
yeah,
closing was an incredible one as well. But before that, bro, I know we talk about a physical injury here, but a lot of
yeah,
people who are listening to this might not
mm,
be physically injured. They might be emotionally, spiritually injured from their
mm,
current job, their current
yeah,
situation. So, like, what would you say to somebody who's kind of like in that position where they're
yeah,
injured as well and they're looking to recover in a much better like vehicle, like high ticket sales? What would you say to that person?
yeah. What I would say is this type of opportunity, it's not just about the change I can make in the present moment, going through that injury, but what can change things as far as the rest of your life, right? I had that injury was it 4 years ago now? And look where I am, right? I'm traveling, I'm living life on my own terms, and I'm building my future. And I have a skill set and the experiences where I have a lot of value in the marketplace, right? So no matter where I can go, I can implement these skills and be of service to anyone, right? So just to answer that question, it's just a matter of just creating opportunities and a legacy for yourself long term. So just what I would say, just really think long term and big picture versus the particular moment, and do something that the future version of yourself would thank you for.
Of course. And look at you now, bro. Because I remember like just 4 or 5 years, it was like end of 2021, bro. So end of
Yeah,
20, it's 2026 now. So almost 5 years ago.
yeah,
So
great.
with that being said, long-term thinking, the creator economy, the e-learning space right now that we have is just growing like hundreds of billions every single freaking year, right? Back then, it was 5 years ago. It was only like, I think it didn't even touch 100 billion yet, but now it's projected to hit like, I think like 500 billion end of this year or something like that. So it jumped really,
Yeah,
really far. But I know we've been talking about how much it changed your life. Let's just talk
yeah.
about what happened for it to change your life. So let's talk about like, dude, the actual milestone. Like, because I know you
Right.
started closing on a fitness offer because that was in your niche,
Yeah.
as they would say. What was your biggest month, man? Tell us that juicy number,
Biggest month was 34K.
34K. How did it? Because here's the thing. Usually, when you jump from appointment setter to closing, there's a huge pay jump if you do it right, which we teach and
Yeah.
train here. How did it feel when that check came in?
Unreal. You can't really explain it. It's just one of those things where it's very mind blowing. And that type of feeling settles in. It takes a bit of time, right? So when you're in it, you're grinding. It's just a matter of the effort, the time, the energy, the experiences I've had finally pay off, right? And one of our favorite analogies is a hockey stick, right? Just based on its shape, the growth is very slow and gradual. Then you hit that mark where things really take off exponentially, right? And that's how I felt there. And um, yeah, it's just a surreal feeling. It's hard to explain, but it's a great one, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, man, and I know you do a lot of taking care of your family as well. Coming from like a Muslim background, you got a big family. I know you take care of a lot of your family there. You got a new niece and nephew and so forth. Like, how
Yeah.
has this type of income like impacted your life, your family's life as well?
Yeah, big time. Just be in that position where, of course, to help others, you got to help yourself. So I've been able to fill my cup, help myself, and just being able to help, family, friends without it really having, a toll on me. It's just a very great and rewarding feeling just to be in that position to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
And just
yeah,
for some of the people who really want to know, man, what was your top 3 months in commissions that you took home? Net profit.
yeah, yeah. Top 3 months, and it was consecutive, which is pretty cool. Just shy of 70K.
Shy of 70K. So 69K, hey? 69?
869, guess you could
Well,
say.
let's just say there's a potential student who's watching this right now, who's in a similar situation or just in any situation where they're kind of on the fence to making this leap. Because
Yeah,
here's the thing, most people don't make a change in their lives
yeah,
until they're in a lot of tragedy and a lot of pain.
Hmm.
And maybe someone's listening to this right now. Maybe they're not completely uncomfortable in their lives, but like they know there's something should change. What would you
Yeah.
say to somebody who's on the fence?
Well, first thing I'd say is without discomfort, there's no growth, right? And there's two guaranteed paths you can take. There's one path you're already familiar with, and it's you're complacent, you're not happy with your situation, or there's another path where there's uncertainty, discomfort, but on the other side of that, there's success and things that you can accomplish beyond your wildest dreams and imagination, right? So, in order for you to live the life you want to live and be, a happy version of yourself, what decision do you need to make today to bridge that gap? That's what I'd say.
Let's go. Gotta bridge that gap and make that jump, right?
Mhm.
Now, with all that being said, do you think the time that you spent in training and the investment, how do you feel about the value that you got out of all that? Was the ROI good enough?
Man, the ROI is priceless, right? Because it's not just about monetarily, but just the fulfillment, the mentality that you have, what you're able to do for others, and just the fact that it's not even just what I've been able to accomplish these past 5 years or so, but how this is going to impact me for the rest of my life, right? So, to answer your question, to me, it's a no-brainer. I can't, decide for other people and how they think, but if you're really thinking big picture, long term here, I'd say it's a no-brainer for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, as we wrap this up, man, one final question is like, what would you say to just what would you share just as the last thing to anybody who's watching this, not even just on the fence, but anybody who's watching this, what would you say? Any last things that you feel like would be very valuable to them?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing is not having limitations on yourself, right? Really aim and shoot big because if you set small goals and you accomplish them, then you'll feel unfulfilled, you'll feel disappointed, right? And just to kind of set an example, growing up, I want to be a phys ed teacher, right? Once I got into university, I had an entrepreneurial mindset, just being around, different types of people, learning what could be a possibility. So I started my own fitness brand and business. But now being in a high ticket space and just witnessing what people have been able to accomplish, yourself and many others, it's a matter of um, there's so much that you can accomplish, right? And you can only get to that point if you surround yourself around those who've been able to accomplish that. So if you're staying in your bubble or those who you're already familiar with, that's what you're gonna get, right? But if you put yourself in a position like digital closers or surrounding yourself around people who've been able to accomplish a great, incredible things, that's what's going to allow you to really propel forward, right? So I would say if you don't have that confidence in yourself now, put yourself in a position where you're around those that can instill that belief and confidence in you so that you can accomplish, extraordinary things. So that's what I'd say there.
Yeah, man. So shoot high, shoot high. I really like that ending there because
Yeah.
what was that? I might be chopping it, but Les Brown said, failure is not when you shoot high and you miss. Failure is when you shoot low and you hit. Meaning that like
Mm,
when you achieve the low bar, the low standard, and you hit, it becomes a normal comfortable spot, and most people stay in that low spot. But it's
right.
better to just shoot as high as possible and try to design your life in a way where you're more likely to hit it than not. Obviously, that's why this program is here to help people do that, to hit when you shoot high, right? But like most people, like the worst thing you can do is go into your deathbed wondering what if. So,
Mm.
so you know what? Shoot freaking high, man. I think that's a
Shoot
mic drop
high
right
and
there.
keep shooting, right? You accomplish it, keep shooting, right?
Yeah.
Look at the grades. LeBron James, look what he's been able to accomplish, and he's still going strong and looking to accomplish great things, right? So it's a marathon. There's no finish line. So the biggest thing I'd say is what's been my favorite part of everything is just the journey, right? So just looking back, just from the times when we're in Mexico, I was just getting into the high ticket space to the full circle moment where I'm here now. But I know that I have so much to accomplish, so much I want to do, and just yeah, staying present and enjoying the ride.
Let's go, bro. Let's keep riding, man. Appreciate you doing this.